Hey KL Squad, welcome back to my channel. As you can see from the title of this video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys 10 ways to conquer driving related anxiety. So a couple people commented in my last video about my conquering my fear of driving and how I share with you guys my story behind how I've been facing my fear of driving. So a couple of you guys wanted some more tips, and so I decided to go ahead and put this video together just for you guys and also for other people out there that are struggling with driving related anxiety. Before I get into the video, are you subscribed? Because I feel it in my spirit that you are not subscribed. Come on, like, why would you not subscribe to my channel? Like, no, seriously, it is free. You see that bright red button down there below? Yeah, that one, yeah, so hit that one, subscribe, hit the notification bell right next to it, so that way you'll always be notified when I'm uploading new content. So, also, if you guys see me looking down, I'm looking at my phone just so that I can make sure that I am staying on top of all the tips. So, tip number 1 is to focus on your breathing. So, breathing is a very important step. You would think, duh, like we breathe all the time. Breathing, of course, is like an involuntary action that our bodies take. Like, we don't have to tell our body to breathe. But however, if you are one that experiences anxiety, it's very easy to take breaths that are not really full deep breaths, or either maybe you're holding your breath in because you're feeling a lot of tension. And so sometimes you have to tell yourself, okay, take a deep breath. So take slow deep breaths. Make sure that you are breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. Usually I've done a little bit of breathing exercises where you'll breathe in for 6 to 8 seconds, you hold it in for a little bit, and then you release for 8 to 10 seconds. So trying those breathing exercises on a daily basis could probably help with your anxiety. And even doing those before you approach the vehicle probably will help a lot too. Tip number 2 is to be confident in your driving. So some resources that I can provide you with as far as helping you with your confidence would definitely be to take a defensive driving course. Defensive driving is definitely something that is going to give you confidence if you know that you know what you're doing behind the wheel and you are driving defensively to make sure that you're keeping yourself safe, as well as all of the other people driving on the roads around you. And even if you have any passengers, knowing that you are driving defensively and safely will definitely boost your confidence. I know the more confident that I was in my ability to drive, the more comfortable I was. And even though I've experienced anxiety while driving or while being in vehicles, it was never so much that I couldn't drive. Like, it was never like a, oh, I can't drive thing, but mentally, it was more so about having negative thoughts while being in the vehicle. So practicing, and we're going to talk about a few other tips that are all going to kind of affect how confident you feel in driving. Educating yourself, making sure that you are skilled in driving will definitely help you with your confidence behind the wheel. So another app that I can think of that you can use to help with your confidence behind the wheel definitely would be either the Drive Safe and Save app with State Farm or the Root Car Insurance app. Both of those apps, you can download them on your phone, and they have Bluetooth capabilities, so that way if you connect the Bluetooth on your phone to your vehicle, they can actually track your trips and monitor your driving skills. So they'll actually rate you and also give you some tips and things on what you can do to improve. All right, so tip number 3 is to practice frequently. This is a very important one, and I know it's very hard to think practicing frequently is easy, especially if you are so nervous and so tense behind the wheel already. So I would say one thing for me that helped me was to literally just do it like Nike, they say just do it like, and it sounds so cliche, right? And it's just like, dude, I'm tired of hearing that. But literally, now that I think about it, it's like, I literally just did it. And I remember like the first time I started driving recently, it's been about a month and a half, almost 2 months that I've actually been driving a whole lot, guys. Like, I've been driving literally every day now because I love it. And even though I do make some mistakes sometimes, like, I'm finding myself actually having fun, enjoying it, and enjoying that independence and that freedom that I have to just go anywhere I need to go pick up what I need to pick up, go shopping whenever I want to go shopping. Like, I love that independence. And to me, that's what has really been helping me continue to do it, even if I make a mistake. So definitely practice frequently. If you could try to set a goal, maybe starting out, just say, okay, I'm gonna set a goal to practice 1 time a day, or 1 time a week. Like, whatever pace you feel is best for you, that is definitely what you can stick to. Okay, so practicing frequently, whether it's a couple times a day or a couple times a week, that is definitely going to help you in the long run, so that way you can get more driving under your belt and getting familiar with it, and that way that anxiety will be reduced overall. All right, so tip number 4 is to safely distract yourself with a bomb music playlist. So this is very important. I love music. Music speaks to my soul, and usually I'm always listening to gospel music. And more recently, when we purchased our new vehicle, it came with a Sirius XM subscription for free. And so since we've been subscribed to Sirius XM, I've been loving the channels that they have. The gospel Christian channel plays like so many new songs that I had never heard of prior to having the Sirius XM. So I've been hearing a lot of new songs and such. Even if you're not into gospel music, whatever you like to listen to, make a playlist. And if you don't have access to Sirius XM or anything like, Pandora or iHeartRadio, if you just have a playlist on your phone, even if you don't have Bluetooth, I would recommend, if you have a vehicle that has a Bluetooth feature, definitely use that, because it is safer, and your music can just automatically play and be connected to your vehicle, and that way you can hear it really good. So if you don't have that, I would say just have a phone, or buy yourself a wireless speaker that has Bluetooth capability that you can just connect to your phone and just have in the car with you, that has some really good sound. And so just make a playlist, like make some playlists that have really upbeat songs, like songs that get you motivated, like whatever your power songs are, whatever songs speak to your soul, speak to your heart, get you pumping, get you in a good mood. Like, those are the songs that you want to have on your playlist. Now for me, I love when my music is really loud. Usually, like, if I'm listening to music with headphones, I like my music really loud. But when I'm driving, however, I've learned that I don't like my music blasting, because I like to hear what is going on outside, if that makes sense. Like, even if I can't really hear it, but if somebody honks their horn or something like that, you want to make sure that you're able to kind of not hear the traffic, but especially if there's like an ambulance or something coming, when you know that you have to get over to the right or left and stop. That is very important to make sure that you can hear. So don't have the music too loud, but just have it at a volume that is comfortable. So again, make sure that you have a super bomb playlist. Tip number 5 is to drive in familiar areas. And drive to familiar places. So starting out, especially with a lot of anxiety, please do not drive anywhere that you are not familiar with, because that's just gonna give you more anxiety. So I definitely recommend to stay within a very close proximity. Starting out, go to places that you are familiar with going. So if there's a place that you always go to, maybe you're a passenger and you always go to a restaurant to go pick up some food, or you always go to your nearest grocery store or something like that, drive to those familiar places. So that way you already know the directions. You don't have to worry about going the wrong way, going down the wrong street, making the wrong turn, or having to have your GPS on. That way you can focus and you could be more comfortable and confident in the destination and in the directions. So that way you can focus more on the actual driving and reducing your anxiety. So definitely, stick within close proximity of your home. If you even have to, if you stay in a subdivision or apartment complex, maybe just drive through the complex, exit the gate or exit the entrance of your area that you live in, and just maybe turn around and go back home. You don't always have to go to a street, or if you want to push yourself or challenge yourself, go a few lights down on your main street, just go a few lights down and then come back home. It's so gradually get used to, leaving the area that you are familiar with and pushing yourself to drive in areas that you don't usually go drive. So, like I said, keep it in a small proximity and continue or gradually build as far as your distance is concerned. So like for me right now, I don't go any further than like 10 minutes out. I have made a 40-hour drive a couple times, and the most consistent drives that I've taken that are like over 20 minutes, I'm going to say it's about 39 minutes. And that is to drive like to the other side of town to see my mom. So that's the only time I take that drive, and I avoid highways at all costs. So that is another recommendation. Even though I didn't put that as a tip for this video, definitely avoid highways in the beginning. Use Google Maps, go to the route options, set it to avoid highways, and take those back streets. So even though, it's usually maybe a place that you could drive to where it would take like 26 minutes, on the highway is probably going to take close to 40 minutes if you take the no highways route. So yeah, again, stay in close proximity of where you live. Number 6, center yourself around people that will lift you up. And that also means, center yourself around people that are very positive. You want to make sure that you have a circle of people that are going to encourage you, that are going to have positivity, because negativity breeds negativity. Like if you are thinking negative, or if you are around people that are very negative, that is not going to help you with your growth as far as driving and reducing your anxiety. One thing that I'm so thankful for is that I do have friends, co-workers, family members that were so happy and so excited for me when I finally told them like, hey, I've been driving and I've been enjoying it. And like everyone has been so excited for me, just saying like, keep it up, keep going, just be safe. And they're excited for me. And that also encouraged me to know that, me taking that step is making those close to me proud. So if you unfortunately may not have someone around you, I would say go to at least that one person that that maybe gives good advice, or someone that is a good listener, or someone, the person that that has the most positive impact on you. Go to them, and just try to have a conversation with them. Let them know that you are trying to start driving, you've been having some anxiety with it, or even if there's no one you can trust, maybe seek some help professionally. Talk to a counselor, psychiatrist, therapist, someone that can help you talk things through. And yeah, so definitely surround yourself with positive people, because we do not need anybody like messing up the aura. Like we need positive vibes only. All right. So number 8 is prayer and meditation. So me, I'm a Christian, and prayer is a vital part of my life as a Christian and my walk with Christ. So prayer is definitely something important. And I will be honest, like in the beginning, like while I was going through the motions of my anxiety behind the wheel, I didn't want to talk about it. It was just a very sensitive topic. And I got to a point where I was just, like telling people, don't talk to me about driving, just give me my space and let me come to it when I'm ready. And I wasn't even talking to God about it. Like, it's because it literally was something like, look, I'm pushing this to the back of my mind and to the back of my priority list. I don't want anything to do with driving right now. And I just kind of was in a space where I needed the people around me to respect that. So like I said, even in my prayer life, in my spiritual life, I was not even praying about it because it wasn't important to me at the time. And so once I actually started driving and took that leap and put myself out there in the car and just went, that's when I started to pray about it and just ask for strength, of course, and protection every time I go out. I do recommend, if you do have a prayer life, that you should like pray before you drive, pray before you walk out the house, pray when you get behind the wheel as you're adjusting your seats, so on and so forth. That's when you can pray. If you're not a believer in God, I definitely would recommend like positive affirmations, listening to things like that. There's so many resources and things that you can do to help you spiritually and mentally reduce that anxiety. So there's books that you can read. You can put sticky notes all over your house with positive quotes. Read those positive quotes before you leave. Like whatever you have to do to get in that positive headspace, whether it's religious, whether it's not religious, like do that. So that way you can help reduce that anxiety once you start to drive. Drive in a car that you are comfortable in. This is so important because if you are in a car that has some malfunctions or is very loud or is just not comfortable, you are not going to have a positive experience. You are not going to be able to focus. So if maybe like there's something wrong with the seatbelt or if there's something wrong with the steering wheel or whatever the case, I don't even know, honestly. The last vehicle that we had prior to purchasing the one we have now, the only thing that I felt contributed to my anxiety behind the wheel was definitely the sound. We made a few adjustments to our vehicle and it made the sound very loud. So every time we pressed on the accelerator, it would just be super loud. And I felt like that kind of contributed to my anxiety, and it just was not a very smooth experience. Now, on the other hand, I am literally like riding smooth. When I tell you, like, I am just chill, just riding with my music, no distractions, like no abrupt sounds. Like I absolutely love it. So it's definitely important to make sure that you are comfortable driving in the car that you're in. Now, I definitely understand that not everyone has the luxury or has the opportunity to be able to just be in a car that they are comfortable in, especially if they are in a car that they're not comfortable in currently. So if you're in a situation like that, I would suggest maybe if you have a friend or a family member or somebody that's close to you that you trust and that trusts you to do some practicing in their vehicle, I definitely would recommend you take them up on that and try to drive different cars. Maybe try to see what kind of car models that you like to see what you're most comfortable in. I love Chevys. Like my first time driving a Chevy, oh my gosh, like it was so smooth riding. And so right now we have a Dodge and I actually really like it. So, but yeah, definitely make sure you're comfortable in the vehicle. Make sure you're comfortable with the steering wheel and how it feels in your hands when you're turning. Make sure that you adjust the seat to your liking, as well as the steering wheel, if you can adjust the steering wheel too. Hopefully your seats are comfortable too. But yeah, just overall, just make sure like the experience in the drive and the car is a car that you are comfortable riding in. All right, and the last tip number 10, is to take it slow. This is so important. Don't let anyone tell you how you should be driving, especially in the beginning. Like, don't let anyone tell you, oh, you need to be doing this or you need to be doing that, or you need to go drive here, or you need to be doing X this or whatever. Like, take it slow. You are the one in control of the vehicle. You are the one suffering from the anxiety, and you are the one that has to make sure that you are safe. So make sure that you are literally tuning everybody out. And if you're at a point where you're not ready, you're just not ready. Like, no one can force you to get behind the wheel. I understand that because I felt like, operating a vehicle, that's a big deal. Like, me getting behind a vehicle, if I screw something up, that could be my life in danger, that could be someone else's life in danger. And that's going to affect my family and the people that I love around me if I were to make a crazy decision, or if I get behind the wheel with lots of nerves and lots of anxiety, you know, I'm not gonna drive in that kind of state of mind. Like, my mind needs to be clear. I need to be comfortable. I need to be confident in what I'm doing. So definitely don't let anyone push you out of your, you know, comfort. So take it slow. Develop a plan of what you want to do, how you want to do it, where you want to drive, when you want to start driving. You know, if you want to start, if you want to set a goal to say, hey, you know, I'm going to start driving next week, or whenever I start, I'm going to drive once a week, or whatever that goal is, whatever that plan is, you stick to it and you own it, and don't let anybody stop you from, you know, completing that goal and sticking to it. So take it at your pace, and definitely be patient, because there's going to be some times where you're going to make mistakes. And one thing I've definitely learned, I can definitely see that I have grown because of my reaction towards making mistakes. And you'll find that you'll actually experience that too. In the past, when I would make a mistake, or if I would run at the curb, or if I would just have a bad driving experience because I was so anxious while I was driving, then when I would make mistakes, I would be like, oh my gosh, I am not driving again. And then months and months and months, almost to a year, would go by without me ever getting behind the wheel again. So this time around, I've made several mistakes. Like, literally last week, I literally almost hit a car because I didn't see them coming. Like, you know, that's gonna happen. Sometimes people are gonna be speeding and you're not gonna see them coming. Maybe they were in the wrong, or maybe you were. So it really just depends on the scenario, but you're always going to make mistakes, but don't give up. Like, literally keep going. And I keep telling myself that, like, as soon as I make a mistake, I literally have to speak to my own mind and say, hey, don't give up, just keep going, keep driving, just don't do it again. Like, you know, do better next time. So it's going to be a process, and it's going to be a journey. So definitely don't put too much pressure on yourself to be perfect. Like, don't think that you have to drive like your best friend, or you have to drive like your partner, or you have to drive like your parents. Like, you know, find that driving style that works for you, like within reason, and be safe, of course. But, you know, don't put too much pressure on yourself. And if someone's putting pressure on you, maybe they're not good for you. Maybe it's just toxic, and it's not a good culture fit. Like, and that goes back to, you know, taking it slow, not letting anyone pressure you. So if it does help you to have someone ride in the car with you in the beginning process so that they can rate you and rate your driving, I actually did that. I asked a few family members, like, how did I do with merging, or how did I do with parking, or was I too close to the other lane, or, you know, kind of questions like that, just to kind of get some positive feedback on your driving. And that's going to help with your confidence as well. One thing I was doing in the beginning to help with my nerves, I would be on the phone with my mom. Now, I wouldn't hold the phone. I have Bluetooth capability in my car, so I always make sure that the Bluetooth is connected if I want to be on the phone, or even if I don't feel like connecting the Bluetooth, I'll have my phone sitting on the seat. So if possible, you could either have someone on video with you. That way you just know that they're there, and like, it has to be someone that gives you comfort, like virtually can give you comfort. So with me, is either my mom or my husband or my grandma or someone like that I can talk to or have on the phone with me, and I feel comfortable. And that way, especially in the beginning, you know, if you're nervous and something happens to happen, unfortunately, at least they were on the phone with you and they know, hey, oh, well, something happened. You know, she was about to go down the street to the store. So if you can, have someone on the phone with you sometimes, not all the time. Don't make, you know, I'm not trying to put anyone in a position where they're you know, going to be on the phone driving and distracted. That is not what I'm saying at all. But just have your phone on the seat, or also purchase a window mount, so that way you can put the phone in the window. That way you're not touching it or anything. That also definitely helps with directions too. So I hope all of these tips helped you. Again, these were the 10 ways to conquer driving related anxiety. And please let me know in the comments if this helped you. If you have any other questions, let me know. I'm going to be linking down in the description box the link to the free defensive driving course, as well as a few links to the apps that I mentioned as well. And maybe I'll throw in a link to a playlist. I don't know. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this video was helpful to you, and stay tuned.